Jackson needs to be 1 3/4 inches taller in order to ride the roller coaster. Since he can't wait, he puts on a pair of boots to add 1 1/6 inches to his height, and slips an insole inside to add another 1/8 inch to his height. Will this make Jackson appear tall enough to ride the roller coaster?
So explain your steps.
So first you take 1 1/6, and that's how tall the boots make. He gets taller because the boots make him 1 1/6 inches taller, and then the insoles make him 1/8 of an inch taller. And then you have to convert the denominator so you can add them together. So you get 4 24ths and 1 and 4 24ths and 3 24ths. And then that's the little guy. Add those together. You get 1 and 7 24ths, which is less than 1 and 3/4. So no, he can't ride it. Sorry, Jackson.
No, keep going. Okay, explain what you did there.
Mr. Creator wants to paint 2 doors and several shutters. It takes 2 3/8 gallons of paint for each door and 1 1/3 gallons of paint for all of his shutters. Mr. Creator buys 3 2-gallon cans of paint. Does he have enough to complete the job? So the answer is no. But first you do 2 3/8 plus 2 3/8, you get 4 6/8, or 4 3/4. Then you do 4 3/4 plus 1 1/3, but they don't have the same denominator, so you can't do that, so you have to convert them. 1 4/12, 4 9/12, add those together and you get 6 1/12, which is more than 6 gallons, so no.
Okay, switch the mic and left ear.
So Mr. Kreider wants to paint 2 doors.
That one's different.
Yeah, so this one is different than the one that Grant just showed you. And so Mr. Kreider wants to paint 2 doors and several shutters. It takes 2 1/8 gallons of paint to coat each door and 1 3/5 gallons of paint to coat all of his shutters. If Mr. Creator buys 3 2-gallon cans of paint, does he have enough to complete the job? So we know that 2 1/8 and 1 3/5, we need to add those so that we can see if we got the right answer. So now we know that 3 and 2 gallons of cans of paint, we times 3 times 2, and we get 6 gallons of paint, so that is our goal. And if we have under that, we have enough gallons of paint, and if we're over that, we don't have enough. So now we're going to take 5 times 8 and 3 times 8, and we get 1 24/40 to make the denominators the same. And then 2 1/8, you times the numerator and the denominator by 5, and you get 2 5/40. And you do that 2 times because there are 2 doors. And you get 5 34/40. So we do know that he has enough paint because it is below 6 gallons of paint, and he will have a little bit of paint to spare.
And then that's the baseline.
Okay, do you want me to...
That's a different version of the same.
Okay, do you want me to read it?
Just read it.
Okay. First, you take 3 times 2 to get 6 as your goal. Second, you change all of the fraction denominators to 24, and then you change the numerator by timesing. Then you add them all up, and finally you simplify, and there's your answer. So no, he doesn't have enough paint because the answer is above 6.
Okay, so this is a different problem, and it's about a baker. So a baker needs 5 pounds of butter for a recipe. She found 2 portions that each weigh 1.16, and a portion that weighs 2 2/7. Does she have? So we want to see if she has enough butter for her recipe. So we know she has 1 1/6. So I'm going to put that down there, and then she has 2 2/7. And we put that there, and then we want them to have equivalent denominators. So the denominators aren't the same, so we need to find the most common denominator, which is 42, because each of them, 6 times 7 is 42, and then 7 times 6 is 42. So we do 6 times 7, which is 42, and then we have to do the numerator too. So we do 1 times 7, which is 7, and then we do 7 times 6, which is 42, and then we have to do the numerator, and we do 2 times 6, which is 12. And we have to remember, so I almost forgot, we have to remember that she has 2 portions of 1 1/6. So we need to add the 2 portions twice. So we have 1 7 40-seconds plus 2 12 40-seconds plus 1 7 40-seconds. And then we get 4 26 40-seconds. So sadly, she does not have enough butter because she needed 5 pounds and she only has 4 26 40-second pounds. So sadly, she does not have enough.
Oh, yeah, you're baseball.
And then, so this is my baseball answer for the Mr. Creeder problem. So Mr. Creeder wants to paint 2 doors and several shutters. It takes 2 3/8 gallons of paint for each door and 1 1/3 gallons of paint for all of his shutters. If Mr. Creeder buys 2 3-gallon cans of paint, does he have enough to complete the job? So, so what I did is I did 2 3/8. So I know 2 3/8 for each door, 1 1/3 for every one of his shutters, and he buys 3 2-gallon paint buckets. So first I changed the fractions to have the same denominator, which is 24. So I did 8 times 3 is 24, and then 3 times 3 is 9. So 3/8 equals 9 24ths. And then I did the same for the 1/3. So I did 3 times 8, which is 24, and then 1 times 8, which is 8. So 1/3 is 8 24ths. And then I added it together. So I knew 2 3/8 was equivalent to 2 9 24ths, and then 1 1/3 was equivalent to 1 8 24ths. So then I just added those together, and then I added, so he has 2 doors, so then I added 2 9 24ths again, and then my final answer was 6 2 24ths, which is equivalent to 6 1/12, and that's how many gallons of paint he needs, but he only has 6 gallons, because I know that 3 buckets with 2 gallons each means he has 6, so Mr. Creeder does not have enough gallons of paint to paint his